Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how you can use Fluent meshing. This tutorial is just to show you how to use Fluent meshing and what is its basic workflow. Before using Fluent meshing, you should assign your boundary name in SpaceClaim so that you can use your respective boundary condition in Fluent. So actually I want to simulate the flow mixing of cold and hot flow. So for example, one fluid will go from here, the hot fluid and cold fluid will enter from here and they will mix, and I want to check their mixing. So I will not do complete simulation, just I will do the Fluent meshing. So let's define our name. To define name selection boundary name in SpaceClaim, so select your boundary. For example, here I want to assign it as a main inlet. So first select this face and go here down here into the group. In group you can see create name selection, and here you can also see the control shortcut, that is Control G. If I click over here, a group has been created. You can rename this group. Let me call it inlet main. Similarly, select this face and now I'm pressing Ctrl G and another group has been created for this face. So let me call it inlet branch. Then here I want to assign it as outlet, so I'm creating from here, create name selection and group 1, so I'm calling it outlet. Then this one plus this one I am assigning as with Control G, and I'm calling them walls because I want to use these walls to create boundary layers. Then this face Control G, and I am writing it as a symmetry. So we have assigned all these name selections, so just double check all seems correct, and now we can move to Fluent meshing. So let me close this one. Here is my geometry. So for Fluent meshing, what you can do, you will come over here, fluid flow Fluent with Fluent meshing. So grab this one and drop over here. Or otherwise you can drop this one, for example, here, and you can bring this one and connect this one. So you can use either way. So let me delete one of this. Now I will go to the meshing part. So now it will open the Fluent meshing. I will use 8 cores, double precision, and start. So now Fluent has been opened in meshing mode. As I said, in this tutorial I will show you only the basic workflow. It is pretty much straightforward. You don't need to do anything extra. Just if you will keep on clicking, you will go through and you will get really nice mesh. So here is the workflow. So you have two workflows. One is workflow, one is outline view. So outline view we are not going to discuss at this moment. In workflow, so everything is in the order, so we will go through each step, and you at the end you will get really nice mesh. In workflow you have two workflow. One is water tight geometry, other one is faulty geometry. So we mostly would be using water tight geometry. I will come at some other time what is the difference between these two workflows. But anyway, when you will open, so your geometry will not be here. So you can see geometry is not here, so you have to import geometry. So in import geometry, just click over here at the bottom, import geometry. Because when you have connected your geometry with this meshing or with this Fluent with meshing, so your geometry is already in the background, just you need to import. For import, click at the import geometry, and your geometry is being imported. Here is our geometry that we want to mesh in Fluent. So add local sizing. So you can add local sizing or you can just update. Local sizing is used, for example, at a particular location, for example, near inlet, outlet, or any particular location. If you want to add local sizing, then you will say yes. Otherwise you don't need to, you can just click update and you can move on. Let me show you. For example, would you like to add local sizing? Let's say yes. And here you can assign your name, whatever name you would like to assign. And here, so on which where you want to assign your local sizing, on face sizing, body sizing, curvature sizing, proximity. Let me add one local sizing. Let me say face sizing. And to avoid backflow near outlet, I want to have fine mesh. So I said okay, and here I will assign my face. So all those name selection which you have assigned in your space claim, all these name will appear over here. And here you can assign your name. You can choose your name selection to create local sizing. And I think if I remember correctly, this 3 into 10 is per 5. This one is a good local sizing because I did this meshing before, but let me check. Okay, add local sizing, and let me say outlet meshing. Whatever name you like, you can assign that name over here, and add local sizing. So your local sizing has been added, and you can see this name has been appeared, and this green tick showing that these have been updated. So now generate the surface mesh. In Fluent meshing, first you generate surface mesh, then it will generate the body mesh. In surface mesh, you have two parameters which are really important: minimum size and maximum size. So these two sizes will show the minimum and maximum element size. And the good thing is this, for example, here maximum size, and it will show you what will be the maximum size of the mesh. And this minimum size will also show you what will be the minimum size of the mesh. So minimum size looks good. So just maximum size I would like to reduce little bit because it seems too coarse. So I, instead of 1.6, I will say 1 millimeter, because 0.001 meter it is 1 millimeter. When you will update, you will see okay, the size has been reduced. Still looks little bigger, so I would like to have 0.5, and now it looks good. Here growth rate, so you can see what growth rate you want to achieve from minimum to maximum. 1.2 is a good growth rate. Curvature and proximity, so you always keep it on. So curvature and proximity, so near curvature, for example, the curved surface, it will refine mesh, and proximity when you have a very small surface or very small edge between two surfaces, so it's called proximity. Here we don't have any such surface, but for curvature, for example, on this surface, on this outer surface, it will take them as a curvature. Curvature normal angle, you can look for this its definition, but anyway, if you will reduce this angle, the mesh will go finer. Cell per gap, so this one related to the proximity. So if you have proximity, if you have very fine surface, so here you can define how many elements you want to have in that proximity or in that gap. And here scope to proximity, so what kind of scope for proximity, you can scope to edge, face, or whatever you like. So we are not other than size, we are not changing anything, and I can say generate the surface mesh. The surface mesh has been generated, and it looks fine. So now we can move to the next one. Now it says describe your geometry. So it will ask you if your geometry has only solid and fluid both. So the geometry consists of only solid region? No. The geometry consists of only fluid region with no void. That's correct, because we have only fluid and we don't have any void space. And the geometry consists of both solid and fluid and solid region and or void. So this one is applicable. Change are, so this one keep it no, or it doesn't matter actually in this case, because if there would have been multi-region, then it would have an effect, but at this stage it will have no effect, so keep it as default. Similarly, for shared topology is used when you have multi-zone or more than one cell zone. Let's enable, okay, we can enable multi-zone meshing, but for the timing, as I said, we will go by default. It is also useful, but I will talk about this one some later time. So we have described our geometry and click describe geometry. And then describe geometry is finished now. Update boundary. So here your boundary name and your boundary type. These names that I had defined in space claim, and based on name it has assigned the correct boundary type. You can change over here, for example, velocity inlet. If I want to have a mass flow inlet, I could change, but I think for the time being I would like to go with velocity inlet. Similarly, I had defined symmetry and wall, so all looks fine, and I can say update geometry. And then I have only cell zone. The region is fluid, but its name it says solid. I can change its name fluid. Region name, so here you can write fluid, and it has changed its name because name is solid and type is fluid. That was just looks awkward, but otherwise it doesn't matter, but I just changed its name. So after defining geometry, I would say update region. So region have been updated. Now add boundary layers. Add boundary layers, yes. Here you can assign the name. It is the name that you want to add. Let's call them boundary layers. And here there are different methods for boundary layer. For the timing, we are going with the smooth transition. In any of the video, I will discuss all these for in one of the video I will discuss all these for options. I will say smooth transition, then number of layers. For the timing, let me go use 8. Transition ratio, it is fine. Growth ratio is also fine. Fluid region, yes, and only walls. So it will add only the fluid region. We have only one region, and that is fluid. We could use name region, but we did not. Okay, we have this name, but I think we have fluid region, that is understood, so we will say fluid region and only on the walls. Then I will update this, add boundary layers. So boundary layers have been added. I think the name have been reverted somehow, I don't know, so I can go back and say boundary layers and update. So one thing, if you want to change something, for example, this boundary layer I wanted to update or I wanted to change, so you cannot change like that. For that you will go over here, or at the bottom you will see revert and edit. So when you will click revert and edit, then you would be able to edit, and you can see again this lightning sign. So it means now it is not updated. So when you will update and it will show green tick, so it means now it has been updated, but now you cannot change it further. So to change any of this, so you will go, for example, on this one, on the respective field, and you will say edit. And when you will go back, for example, if I will edit this one, so generate the surface mesh, if I will click edit, all these will turn into this lightning sign. It means then I need to update all these fields again. So whatever below of that particular field will need to be updated once again. So that's the workflow. So it means we have to go step by step. We cannot skip any step. Then at the end, generate mesh, and here solver is fluent and fill with. So here you can define what kind of a mesh you want to have. You can have polyhedra, polyhexacore. I like to have polyhexacore. It means the body will be filled with a hexacore, and wherever there is a transition region, so it will fill it with poly. So it means where it won't be able to fill with hexa mesh, so it will fill that with polyhedral. Buffer layers. Buffer layer is for the transition. For example, if there is a transition from hexa to poly, and so it will add 2 layers. so that you can also control. And here is the maximum cell length, minimum cell length, maximum cell length that you can change, but I will leave as it is, and I can say generate the volume mesh. I will click over here and you can see it works really fast, and within few seconds we will have our really nice mesh. And here you can see we got really nice mesh. By default it clipped that mesh. So on the surface here is the polyhedra, but we can, for example, from here we can see insert clip plane, and we can clip on x-axis, y-axis, or z-axis. So for example, okay, doesn't show. So here you can see at the center we have this hexahedral. Here we have those boundary layers, and here these are almost two elements that we have defined over here, buffer layers. So these are two buffer layers. So for the transition it will add two buffer layers. So that's how you can use Fluent Meshing to generate really nice mesh. Here are a few options. So as I said, with this one you can increase your view. You can change your view. So wherever you want to see, you can change your view. With flip button you can flip your view, so it will show you the other side. So now we are here, and we can use limit to y-axis, so it will change the axis according to y-axis, so it will cut normal to the y, and similarly limit to z, it will cut normal to the z axis. So that's how you can use Fluent Meshing to generate your hexa and poly mesh. And Fluent Meshing is very strong or very powerful tool. You can use it for complex geometry as well as for multi-zone to create very nice combination of hexa and polyhedral mesh. Of course, you can generate tetrahedral as well, but in hexa mesh you have much lesser element and you can get very good quality mesh. So that's it for today, and in some other video I will discuss in more detail about different options in this Fluent Meshing. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.